I got broads in Atlanta, just at the lean the family. Credit cards in the scammers, hitting the licks in the van.
Hello, awesome students! Welcome to Learn Maths with Teacher Dennis. Are you ready for our next lesson? Hello, our lesson for today is all about statistics. An introduction to statistics. First, what is statistics? It is the science of collecting, organizing, presenting, analyzing, and interpreting data to assist in making more effective decisions. So, remember that in statistics, we collect, we organized, we present, we analyze, and interpret data. So again, collecting, organizing, presenting, analyzing, and interpreting data. Statistics word origin. So this word came from a German word statistic, Italian statista, and Latin status. And all of these meaning are political state or a government. So originally these words or statistics are used to govern or by a government. It means a state or a political state. So here we have statistic from a German word, Italian statista, and Latin status. So statistical method are made up of data collection, so these are the steps, data presentation, data analysis, and data interpretation. So as I have told you earlier, that statistics, we collect, we present, right? So we analyze and we interpret data. So these are the four statistical methods. So why do we study statistics? Is statistics important? Yes, because in statistics we deal with data, right? So we collect the data, we present the data, we organize the data, we analyze the data, and we interpret the data. So we should study statistics because basically data are everywhere. Statistical techniques are used to make many decisions that affects our lives. Okay, so later on we will learn some statistical techniques, and these techniques are very useful in making decisions. Okay, number 3, no matter what career, you will make professional decisions that involve data. Okay, so later on in your lives, whatever career you choose, there will be always a data. So an understanding of statistical methods will help you make these decisions effectively. So maybe later on you'll want to be a doctor, an engineer, an architect, and etc. So with all of these careers, professional careers, you will make professional decisions. So statistics might help you decide, okay, the more effective decisions. Okay, 2 classifications of statistics. So first we have descriptive statistics. Second is Inferential statistics. So there are two classifications, but first we will tackle first descriptive statistics. So we will concentrate more on descriptive statistics first. So here, statistics, we have two classifications: descriptive and inferential. So descriptive statistics, we try to collect, presenting the data or the data, organizing it, and summarizing it. Okay, so we just try to present the data, we organize it, we analyzed and summarized it. In inferential statistics, we draw a conclusion out of this data. So out of the data that we collect, we will try to draw conclusions and we manipulate the data, we do something about the data, so we can just draw a conclusion out of this. So this data is about the population based on the data observed in a sample. Okay, so later on we will talk about population and sample. Okay, so inferential statistics is making decisions, making conclusions out of the data available. But once again, we will be talking more about descriptive statistics later on. We will do descriptive statistics first. Okay, so I have here a table of the differences between descriptive and inferential statistics. In descriptive statistics, we are concerned with describing a target population. So we will just try to describe the population or based on the samples. In inferential, we make inferences, so we make conclusions out of the sample to generalize them to the population. Okay, so out of this sample, we'll try to generalize the population. So based on the given sample, the data that we get from a sample. Number two, we organize, we analyze, and we present the data in a meaningful manner. So we will try to organize it, we analyzed. Usually we do this through different graphs, bar graphs, pie chart, and etc. So in inferential, we compare, we test, and we predict the future outcomes. Okay, so basically what we do in descriptive is just collect it and we present it. We analyze based on what we have collected. In inferential, we will try to predict the future outcomes, the patterns, okay, the patterns of this data. Okay, number three. So final results are shown in form of charts, tables, and graphs. Okay, so as I have told you, we can present it through the charts, tables, and graphs. In inferential, the final result is probability scores. So these are like the probability scores. Okay, so we will talk about this in the future. So just try to subscribe, and I'll show you. I will upload videos about this in the future. So describe the data which is already known. Okay, so we'll just describe the data, try to make conclusion about the population that is beyond the available data. Okay, so here we just describe the data. Here we try to make conclusions based on the data, but we try to make conclusions based on the given one and beyond the available one. Okay, so 5 tools measurements. Okay, so later on we'll talk about measures of central tendency. Okay, so mean, median, and mode, the spread of the data, the range, the standard deviation, the variance. Variance will be in inferential. Okay, analysis of the variance, the z-test, t-test, tools and hypothesis test. Okay, so here Okay, so I'll just first want to talk about the population and the sample. So population, these are the entire set of individuals or objects of interest. So these are the entire set, okay, the universe. For example, we will try to study about the high school students of Capsurin Ontabury. Okay, so we talk about all of the high school students. Let's say we will try to study about the youths of Thailand. Okay, so or the youths of Bangkok, okay, or the teenagers of Bangkok. So the whole population are the whole population of teenagers. Okay, so when you say population, this is the whole. When you say sample, these are just a portion or a part of the population. Okay, so from the given population, which are the whole one, we'll just select someone from them. Okay, someone, one. Okay, so sample is a smaller portion of the population. Okay, so let's say I have here the population of all items. Let's say the cars or the vehicles here in a certain city. Okay, so in one city there are these cars here. These are the whole population. Sample is just the items selected from the population. Okay, we'll just select something from here, something from the population. Okay, so if this is the whole population, these are the sample, the selected one. Okay, so what are advantages of sampling? Okay, so when we say sampling, we will take samples out of the population. Okay, low cost of sampling. Of course, when we talk about population, it is the whole. Okay, so when we try to gather the data, we need a cost. Okay, we need manpower. Okay, so we need objects, a person, to do the questioning, okay, to do the data gathering. Okay, so advantages of sampling is that it is low cost. Okay, next, less time consuming. Of course, if you're able to get only samples from the whole population, it is less time consuming. You will need less time to get all of the data gathered, or gathered all of the data. Compared with the whole population, accuracy of data is high. So why do we say that the accuracy of data is high? Because when you say population, again, it is the whole, right? So it means it's a bigger number. Okay, so there's a lot of people, or there's a lot of objects. Okay, so if you want to get all of the population, if you let's say you want to ask the whole population of Bangkok, it will take time for you. So when it takes time, so the data may change. For example, you ask a person which of the following or the available brands of phones do they prefer. Okay, so maybe if it takes time, the preference of a person may change, so the data changes. Okay, so if we only do the samples, okay, if we do it correctly, the accuracy of our data is high. Okay, organization of convenience. Okay, is convenience, actually it's convenience. It's convenient. Organization is convenient. Okay, so when we organize our data, it is more convenient because it's less number. Okay, so we can organize it quickly. Suitable in limited resources. Okay, so given that we have limited resources, so it is better to have or to get only the sample or sampling. Okay, disadvantages of sampling. Of course, there is chances of bias. So this is one of the disadvantages of sampling. Improper selection of sampling techniques may cause the whole process to be invalid. Okay, so if we do sampling, there are several types or several ways in do sampling. There are computations and how big is the sample is. So later on we will discuss it in our videos. So to have a better sampling or to have a valid sampling, we need to compute it. Okay, we need to do a proper way and how to do it. Okay, so for us to make it valid, we need to make it we need to do it properly. Okay, so here selection of proper size of samples is difficult. Okay, so it can be difficult sometimes, especially when we deal with very large population. So that is one of the disadvantages. Sampling may exclude some data that might not be homogeneous to the data that are taken. Okay, so let's say there are sometimes we can get the data from a sample, but this data is not true to the bigger size of the population. So this might also affects the result of your investigation or your research. Okay, so for the next video we will talk about how to do sampling. Okay, what are the sampling techniques? What are the sampling methods for us to prevent these disadvantages to happen? Okay, thank you for watching. Once again, this is Teacher Dennis. Bye bye.